this morning and told him he needed to send him over to. There you go.
Good.
Okay,
Too loud now.
all right. Call to order the Harrison Township Board of Appeals of January 23rd, 2014. May we have a roll call of the attendance?
Member Miners?
Here.
Member Barak?
Yes.
Member Senstock?
Here.
Member Servio?
Here.
Chairman Mazinski?
Present. Okay, first item on the agenda today is election of officers. So we have chairman, vice chairman, and secretary. So,
I make a motion to re-elect our current chairperson, Lawrence Muslinski. I second that.
okay, there's a nomination for myself and support for it. Is there any discussion on that nomination?
It's contingent on you being here.
I should rephrase that. Any positive discussion on that subject? Seeing none, may we have a roll call vote on the nomination?
Member Servio?
Yes.
Member Senstock?
Yes.
Member Miners?
Yes.
Member Barak?
Yes.
Chairman Mazinski?
Yes. Next position is the nomination for vice chairman.
I make a motion to re-elect our current vice chairperson, Jim Senstock.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion on that nomination?
That's
See-
contingent on him not being a smartass.
And you speaking to the audience without a donut in your mouth?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Larry, for doing that.
Okay. Seeing none or no further, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Member Servio?
Yes.
Member Miners?
Yes.
Member Barak?
Yes.
Member Senstock?
Yes.
Chairman Mazinski?
Yes. Next position is secretary. May we have a nomination on that, please?
I'll make a motion to nominate Bill Servio as our secretary.
Okay, is there support for that?
I support that.
Any discussion on that? Seeing none, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Member Senstock?
Yes.
Member Miners?
Yes.
Member Barak?
Yes.
Member Servio?
Yes.
Chairman Mazinski?
Yes. Congratulations, and I hope you serve well and have 100% attendance. Next item is approval of the agenda. Any additions or deletions from the agenda as it's presented?
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, there's support for approval of the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, first item on the agenda is approval of the November 21st, 2013 minutes. Any additions or modifications for page 1? Only one thing I would like to indicate on the first page, on the roll call, those present, those excused, those are approved excuses.
Yes.
Okay, could you modify that to say approved excuses, please? Okay. Anything else on page 1?
A clarification on that. I always thought excused meant that it was approved. Or not present would be not excused. But
I guess in the interpretation of the word, I believe you are right, Mr. Ferriero, so. Okay. All right, we'll move on to page 2.
Although I wasn't at the last meeting, I do notice on the first motion on old cases, I believe that the motion should be Ronald Springer, not Ronald Smith.
Oh, you're back on page one,
No, on page 2,
page two?
right here.
Oh. It should be what?
I believe the person that they were speaking about was Ronald Springer, and then they say Ronald Smith's property, so I assume that should be Springer.
Right here.
Is that correct?
Yeah, no, motion.
Okay.
The word is.
Any other items on page two? Okay, move on page three. Any items on page three? See none, then we'll move on to, oh, page three is, page three, okay. Okay, may we have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
Is there support for that?
Support.
Okay. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the hearing procedure. And someone fill me in on what this is all about, hearing procedure.
This is just information we have provided.
No new cases first. You know, why is there no new cases? I think that's what our chairman is alluding to. I'd like
No,
to-
no,
No,
I'm
item
asking,
F, it
what
says
is,
hearing procedure.
Oh, okay, my mistake.
Yeah,
Rules of procedure.
rules and procedure, we just give a copy of that one just every beginning of the year, we just
okay, so, this is on the agenda for us just to review our rules and procedures.
yeah, if you want to make
If
it.
there's any modifications that we want to make.
I'd like to go back to new cases, none.
I'm sorry?
On new business.
Negative, we want to hear item F first, and then item G. And item
Oh, I'm sorry.
F
I'm sorry.
has to do with just a review of our rules and procedures at the beginning of the year, to see if there's any modifications that we want to make for the year 2014 to our procedures.
See, the important part is the section 8 said that we have to submit a report to the board of trustees. That's what the section we are at.
And what page are you on, BJ?
The rules and procedure, the very first one, the section 8.
Oh, I get you, okay.
This is not the entire procedure, but some portion of them which says that we have to submit a report, what we did last year to the board of trustees and asking for the money.
Okay,
So you don't want to change that, do you?
and
No, no,
Oh, okay.
then,
no, but we got the report. If you go further down, you'll
And-
see
and-
housing
Right.
board.
and that's why you have this 2013 summary in here,
Oh,
I
yeah,
believe,
somebody, right, this is what we did in the whole year.
to report to the board
Right.
that these were the new cases, cases closed, demolitions by owner, different stages of compliance. What does that indicate, different stages of compliance?
They'll be coming back to us. We haven't closed these cases yet. So like, some of them are supposed to come in January, but because of the weather, we haven't called them. They haven't done any, they haven't completed the work.
Uh,
So like February, they will be coming in front of us.
Could we state on that category then, outstanding cases?
Yeah, we
Or-
can change that
or-
word to outstanding.
Outstanding and carry over to 2014, does that convey more what we're trying to indicate there? Or-
We can change it, that's fine, as long
Okay.
as it makes more sense. So these are still, we haven't closed those yet, they are still out of there.
Okay,
But we have taken action and they are working on it, work in progress actually.
Okay, we're still on rules and procedures though, right? So, one thing,
well,
under,
the first item under rules and procedures is item 8, at the top here,
right,
and this is what he wanted to discuss. That is that we are to submit a report to the board on an annual basis.
Okay, but we're not gonna review it right now until we agree that that's what we're gonna do.
Okay, well,
Well, I
are we
believe-
gonna agree on everything?
Yeah, Jim, I believe what the situation here is we operate under a state law, and the state law requires some of these things, and I believe that's one of the requirements.
Okay, I mean, but we
That's okay.
as a board agree that we wanna continue to, because it's already in there, submit a board, report.
Right, and that's what we are doing, but this
But
board
we'll
has
do
to-
that under the next agenda item.
Oh, I
No,
see.
this is all under the same agenda. That is to review.
No, it's right there, new business,
Okay,
housing report.
all right, very well.
But I do have a question and a proposed rule and procedure change. In the past, we've run up against having only 3 members present for the meetings. We've all pledged that we're not gonna have that this year, but I think that we ought to say somewhere, maybe under meetings and hearings, something to the effect that when there's only 3 members present, the 3 members must vote unanimously on a motion.
We don't need to say that, it's standard practice that
No,
if there's
no,
5
it's
members.
not.
No, not
Well-
necessary. If 3 members are there, 2 votes yes, 1 say no, is yes.
It's still, you
Well, then-
have,
Then you need language in there like we have in all the
That's
other
what he's
boards.
right, that's what I would like to see in there, just
So we
as
can add one.
clarifications. That, there is a minimum required vote of 3, no matter how many people are present.
Well,
Okay.
we could steal the language from ZBA, which I don't have here presently, but what it states basically is that there's 5 members, and a majority of those 5 members must vote, the majority vote of the 5. So in
Okay.
other words, if there's 4 members, you need 3 votes. If there's 3 members, if there's 5 members, you need 3. So,
Well, I would like to see that added.
If
Okay,
we do
I
that,
don't-
then we got to make a clarification to the party who's present over there that they have a right to postpone them until the next meeting because 3 out of 3, they have no chance of.
I concur with the concept. I don't agree with it, the procedure that, if the petitioner or the individual here before us doesn't receive 100% of 3 votes, that there are only 3 members here, that then onus is thrown upon him that he loses. I think he should either receive 100% of it, of the 3 that are here, and if he doesn't, then it's tabled until the next meeting when there's a full quorum here. So we can have,
That's acceptable too.
I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise you're thrown, because of circumstances unbeknown to the individual that is there, now he's put in a quagmire that he has to face, that he's gotta get 100%. And if he doesn't, then his
Well-
petition or his,
housing operates exact opposite way as zoning board of appeals. Zoning board of appeals is coming and asking for a variance of the rules. Contrary to that, housing, they're here before us because they haven't obeyed our ordinances. I don't know
Right.
that we should give them any. If we want to, if we're gonna make a motion to demolish, maybe we could table that, if it gets to that point. But the rest of the business, I see no reason why we can't discuss it and make motions to, move forward with the case. Normally, we rarely ever demolish something on the first hearing for it. I can only think of one case since I've been here. That happened in last year on a house on Conger Bay. No, even that was the second time. So, I
If-
don't think we should postpone. Everybody here has been exasperated by the fact that some of these cases drag on for a year or more. And that's just another reason to postpone it.
well, it is another reason to postpone it, but you have to understand that what we're talking about is, we're talking about taking somebody's private property, whereas the other boards aren't talking about taking private property. Here we are. And so every avenue of trying to rectify the problem without taking private property should be affronted to the individual that is here before us.
Well,
I look at it from the point of view that if I were standing out there and being faced with my private property being taken, I would want every avenue available to me in order to rectify the problem. And sometimes there's circumstances, individuals come up before us, and we've heard it, that they're in their particular situation because of financial distress, okay? And it may take a year or two for them to dig themselves out of the particular situation that they're in, and are still willing to rectify the problem that they have. And that's why it should be fronted, or, given to them every avenue of.
Well, normally our first step that we take here is that we request that they voluntarily get a safety inspection on their property, or we order a safety inspection done. That isn't taking property, that's just trying to determine to this board what action needs to be taken in the future. You're saying that if there's only 3 members, you don't even want that to happen?
If the
I'm in
language.
concurrence as far as
No,
demo.
I understand, but if the language is not there, okay, that allows them, it will be abused at some time. It says right here, if 3 members are not unanimous, we're gonna condemn your house. And you bring up a situation, well, maybe we're only talking about a safety inspection. Well, we're only talking about a safety inspection, so what if it goes on for 1 more month? But if you have language in here, that 3 members here can demolish a house, it's gonna happen. And point in case, I always bring this up, and I may have brought this up before, that when the amendment to the Constitution of the United States was made to bring in, make it law of the land for income tax, one senator stood up and said, well, let's put a limit of only 10% on income tax. And they said, oh, that'll never happen, that it's gonna be more than 10%. Look where it is now. If it isn't there, it will be.
So to clarify, what is it you'd like to see in there for
What I'm
change?
saying is if we're going to enact that if there's 3 members here, if it's not unanimous, then it's tabled till the next meeting. What you're saying that if it's not, if it's unanimous, it goes forward. And 3 members here could cause a demolition on a house.
You said if it's not unanimous.
It's tabled till the next meeting.
If it's not unanimous, then the motion fails. You need 3 votes.
Now, if there's 3 people here, 2 people could vote affirmative or negative, and 1 can vote the opposite, and the motion fails or goes forward.
No,
because
it
of that.
doesn't. No, it doesn't. You need 3 people to vote yes all the time.
Why? Where's the
Because there's 5 people on this board, and you need a majority of the board. You can, a quorum is 3, and you can operate with a quorum, but you have to have a majority of the 5 people. That's the way it works on every board.
All I'm trying to do is quantify that.
There's no way 2 people can ever, even if there's only 3 present, 2 cannot pass a motion.
What do you wanna
If you want to
say?
clarify it, that's fine.
Yes,
But
we're going
I
to-
misunderstood you. I thought you said that you didn't want to move forward at all if there were 3 people.
No, I didn't.
No,
And-
okay,
and
that's- then I
you're-
misunderstood
And Mr. Servio, you are right, your numbers are correct. Only if 3 vote affirmative, whether there are 5 here or not, but if 5 are here, okay, let's look, the numbers are correct, as you stated, but if 5 are here, there's 2 arguments not being made, okay? Presently, we don't have anything, do we, Mr. Senstock?
No, I don't think we do. What I would like it to say that I believe Mr. Servio had the language, that any actions taken by this board must have a minimum of 3 members to agree with it.
I'd rather see the language say a minimum, a majority of the 5 members appointed to the board.
Well, okay, but that's the same.
There could be a
fact.
situation where they don't fill a position, you only have 4. You still need a majority. If you had 2 and 2, that's not a majority.
It failed.
So, conceivably, we could get whittled down for one reason or another to only 3 members. You still need a minimum of, a majority of the 5 that are statutory, whether they're present or not. If, this is kind of something that I think we could get the language from the other boards and use the same language. It's boilerplate language.
I guess I see your argument.
But I think this is only excerpts. This law is much longer than this.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but
So
you
I believe it's probably already covered in the law, but I don't have the whole law
No,
here.
what you are saying is nowhere covered, but in this Article 8, meetings and hearing, there are 7 items, and if you want, you can make item number 8 and put that language. Go on to page number 4, next page.
Right. That's what I was asking. I see
In
that,
general statement, so you are making the general statement.
since we're discussing it,
Okay, I have no problem putting the language in there. I think it's not necessary, but if you want to put it in for safety purposes, but I don't know that we should be framing that language
On
right
all
now.
meetings governed
no,
by
we
that,
aren't.
though? On all
Yeah, we're
votes
going to have-
governed by that factor, then you've got to have a majority?
If
You
we
have to
move
have at
forward
least
on,
3.
Yeah, at least 3.
if we move forward on this, we're gonna need a volunteer to put forth the language and bring it back at the next meeting, that we can discuss that language. We're
will
not
you
gonna-
make that, will you volunteer for that, VJ? You know what we
He
want.
writes
Bill
that,
will do that.
You got it.
Well, it's already in the zoning board of appeals.
I would
rules.
suggest that either Mr. Servio or Mr. Senstock step forward, volunteer. to put forth the language.
I would volunteer to do that.
Okay.
I just call the language from the ZBA.
And then bring it back for approval at the next meeting.
Yes, because ZBA also has 5 members, so it fits.
Do you want to make that motion?
You can make a motion.
I make a
I'll second
motion
it.
that we,
Oh.
I make a motion that we add something to the Article 8, or Article 7, that.
Article 7, Section 1.
Right. Article 7, Section 1, that we clarify that all actions of the board must be a majority of the appointed board members. And that Mr. Servio will bring the language back to the next meeting for approval.
Okay, is there support for that motion?
Support.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Member Senstock?
Yes.
Member Miners?
Yes.
Member Parak?
Yes.
Member Servio?
Yes,
Chairman Lizinski?
Yes. Any other items on the rules and procedures that you would like to discuss today? Okay, seeing none, then we'll move on to new business. There are no new cases,
I'd like to discuss that.
okay?
I talked to Mr. Parak last month about this, and he assured me we would have new cases. But then when we got our packet, I asked Mr. Parak, and he told me that the reason he didn't put new cases on was because the Board of Trustees did not get back to us and give us instruction as to which way they wanted us to go. And I informed him, as far as I was concerned, we sent a letter to them with unanimous signatures on it, all 5 people signed it, that unless they did instruct us otherwise, we were gonna continue doing business the way we had in the past. So I think possibly we need to give instruction to Mr. Barak to put cases on here regardless of what the board does, unless they tell us otherwise.
Mr. Pratt, did you want to add or anything to that?
There are multiple reasons we did not put new cases in this one. One was the weather. The last January, it has been very brutal and very cold over there. And try to serve them the notice and ask them to fix it before we bring it here was kind of a very, not very practical. Second thing, my job status is very.
If I could
uncertain.
stop you right there, these people have been through the ordinance process already. You've gone through a process and you've written them verbal warnings and then written warnings and fines before it comes to us. Isn't that the process?
That's a process, but we haven't started.
And you've gotten to that point.
No. The new cases will be coming We'll be starting that process today. Once we decide over here, then we'll start that process today. They'll have time to respond.
The
and they'll
reason
be
why I'm
coming
making
here.
an issue, because Steve told me the other day that he had 3 cases that were ready to go.
We have identified 3 cases, but we haven't served the notice yet.
Okay,
We have identified that these are the 3 cases should come in front of this board, because they are high priority.
okay.
But we will, once we decide today, then we'll
All
we'll start that, sending out letter notices and all
Okay,
that.
sorry for the interruption.
No, that's fine. And the second thing issue was, my status is pretty much uncertain, the way it has been voted and the way the township is acted upon. There was some suggestion, if the new person comes over there, then he should set how he would like to run things, but I agree with this board, the respective of whoever takes my position, or I am here over there, this board is independent and the decisions to be made by as a board as a whole, or we should get the instruction from the chairman, how we should conduct our business.
But we still need cases to be presented to us, or else we
We
can't
will.
act on them.
Yes, we will
If the-
bring the new cases and plus some, old cases, next month. We already identified 3, we know what the issues are, but we still have to serve them the official notice to them. The party has to be notified officially what they want to do. So we will bring those cases.
Was the letter ever read? Do you know that we sent, was it ever discussed? Was it ever?
We give that letter to the clerk's office and they distribute to the board members.
And we've heard no more.
We haven't heard anything more, or nor has seen any board meeting where they have discussed that issue.
And there have been at least 3 or 4 board meetings since then.
Yes,
Well, my feeling is on that, if
Continue.
they thought it was a problem that we were operating wrong, they'd say something. It would be brought up as an agenda item. So obviously, the majority don't feel that way. That's what I get out of it anyway. I don't know how the rest of you feel.
Well, I guess right now then, just all we have to do is ask VJ to bring new cases and let's continue on. Don't worry about it. If they want to do something about it, they can do something about it. But we've already told them we're going to continue to operate the way we've always done.
Right, and it was explained to us when all of this, these changes came about, that Mr. Parock stated that because the way we're operating now, on a demolition, the Board of Trustees has the final say on it, not us, the way we're operating. So I don't see where there's a problem. You know, if they feel that we acted incorrectly, they don't have to vote to support the demolition by providing the money.
Well, there's another thing that, as Mr. Peratt had indicated, that his position is not on firm ground, and whether Mr. Peratt is here or not, if there is no building official on this board in the future, this board does not exist because of that, is my understanding. Is that correct?
You're
That's
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So-
one of the statutory members.
Okay. I just wanted to put that out there for
Right,
clarification.
so, and that's my fear. I believe that we've done a lot of good business since this was instituted, and we've saved the township tons of money. I go back to point out to the case that we've had before us on Winkler, that there was $5,300 spent by our town, the township, for the attorney to go to court and get a demo order. That's how much it cost for one case, and then after that, the house wasn't demoed. But normally, we handle multiple cases, and I would guess on average, maybe after 5 or 6 hearings, we make a determination to demolish if we haven't solved the problem. So, we're much more efficient money-wise. 10 to 20% of the cost, if that, and much more expedient too.
not 10 to 20%, maybe 5%.
Yeah.
Even in the summary, if you look at it, 4 parties have demolished the property at their own, no cost to the township at all. So summary speaks for itself, how successful we are, in spite of coming in front of us several times.
I wasn't even counting the cost that the township incurs for the actual demo. I was talking about the legal cost.
Yes.
Prior to us, there was a case that went on for 7 or 8 years on South River Road, and there was probably $40,000 spent on it. The people went to district court and they plead their case, and the judge would give them more time, and it just dragged on and on and on. So I believe there was a purpose for why this was instituted. It's a statewide problem. Politicians don't like to take people's property from them, so they shuffled it off to an independent board. We're not elected, so we don't have to worry about it like they do.
But on the positive thing, there were 17 cases that were resolved over the year of 2013. That's better, obviously better than
Which is obviously
almost
our goal, right?
1.5 cases per month. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, if nothing else on new cases, we'll move on
Are
then.
we gonna change the way this summary is written?
Then we'll move on to the Housing Board report, item
Yeah.
G2,
Oh, okay.
and then we can discuss
Okay,
a summary here.
getting ahead of you again.
Yes. We have a summary, and then we have a Housing Board of Appeals overview here. The Housing Board of Appeals has 10 meetings. In 2013, there were 24 cases before the Housing Board of Appeals. 13 cases have been resolved. 10 cases remain pending, multiple reasons. Yes, I misspoke. There were not 17 cases resolved. There were 13. The 4 up here under, they are also listed under cases closed. So, let's see, 2013, the building department issued and finalized 4 demolition permits. 3 demolitions were by order of the Housing Board of Appeals, but no action was taken. After being served notice of the Housing Board of Appeals, 1 property owner voluntarily demolished their property. After several hearings before the Board of Appeals, 3 property owners voluntarily demolished their property. And the 10 outstanding cases remain so because the Housing Board of Appeals granted an appropriate and reasonable amount of time for the property owner to comply and bring the properties into compliance. Is that the
This
10
numbers
under
needs to
different
be-
stages of compliance list there on your?
Yeah.
Okay. That paragraph and the list, the heading needs to be linked together so that when they're reviewing this, they can say, oh, this is the 10 they're talking about, because there's 10 new cases over here and 10 different stages of compliance. So, perhaps if under the different stages of compliance on the summary, if that read 10 outstanding cases, so there's a link between the paragraph.
Remain from 2013?
No, just say
With the-
remain under different
Yeah.
stages of compliance.
Just so there's a
add that
link between the
phrase in there.
paragraph and the.
And underlined it so they know it refers to the next page.
Does that make sense, Vijay?
Yes,
Okay, so, we want to change different stages of compliance to 10 outstanding cases.
On top of that, you can leave 10 outstanding cases in different stages of
Oh,
compliance?
very good, yeah.
that's, yeah.
But you also want to put that statement in the paragraph over
Yeah,
here.
this overview summary language we will
Right,
change
so
to
that they,
reflect the
so
summary.
when they read that, then they go look back here and say, oh, it's
Yeah.
those houses.
We will paragraph them in such a way that it reflects the summary.
Very good, good, okay,
Yeah, this language is not very clear.
yeah.
Well, I point out something, next year, assuming VJ goes through with his retirement, it's gonna be someone new writing this, so we'll probably have to bring them up to speed on how we'd like to see it too. We may want to address that after we get a new building official.
No, I'm just thinking, if this report is going to the board, and for the first time, I mean, we look at it and it's a little bit confusing to me, it's just wanted to tie it
Yeah.
together, not
Right.
dictate how the report should be. Any other
Yeah, I have a
questions?
question. It says there were 24 cases before the Housing Board of Appeals, 13 have been resolved, 10 cases remain, that's only 23. Where's the other one?
Oh, don't get technical now.
The one, the bank has agreed to demolish in June, I would should put the date also, June 2014.
That's
No,
the
here it
house that
says
we have on Jefferson with the tarps on the roof?
Yes, because of the legal issues, the bank has to wait that time, but they are demolishing in June. They are agreeing to demolish in June.
Well, then, how about under cases closed in 2013, we change closed to resolved? And then the bank demo, just put the 27235 Jefferson under that column, so there's 14 there.
I see.
And an asterisk next to it,
And then.
and then
yeah,
down
we
at the
can-
bottom, an asterisk saying bank to demo in June of
Okay.
2014.
Yeah, we can.
Is that, and
You
that
want-
takes
that would
care of
bring
You
the-
want this under
That would
closed
make-
cases?
This,
It's
no,
not closed
we're gonna
yet.
take it
I know it
closed
isn't.
off there and say resolved. This is a resolution, so it would go under this column. And we'll just put the address there with an asterisk next to it, an asterisk down here with a note saying bank to demo on June 2014.
Well,
That's a resolution.
I don't know that it is resolved though, because their promise to demolish in June, they also promised a year and a half ago to resolve this problem with this house, and originally they were gonna rehab that house, and they
Yeah, but
asked for time,
It's
so-
gonna be, Bill, it's gonna be under, number 11, under different
Yeah.
stages of compliance.
I
so it is
understand the
not
numbers have
resolved.
to add up, I'm just saying that it may or may not get resolved, they may or may not
Well,
perform.
it's just,
Okay, we understand that.
it's
Yeah.
under
but-
different
But
stages.
it does clarify the report, is what the
Okay.
attempt is here, okay? So you will take care of that, BJ?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, where it says, and just to reiterate, cases resolved 2013 on that second page.
Right.
Instead of cases closed, because then that brings it back to the language in this letter here. So that way they'll know what they're looking at.
Yeah, we'll tie up both of them so they reflect.
Okay.
Do you need a motion to go ahead and submit that to them, or
Well,
do you
what
want to
we'll
bring
do.
it back?
Oh, we probably do, yes.
We want to bring it back?
No, we need a motion to submit or bring back. I think we can just submit.
All right, you want me to make a motion?
Yes.
I make a motion that we allow the building official VJ to submit the 2013 Housing Board of Appeals overview and summary as corrected here at the board.
Can you also add to that one asking for $3,500 money?
And authorizing VJ to ask for whatever amount of money he needs to run this place. I'm not gonna put my name on it.
All right, is there support for that motion?
Support.
Any discussion on the motion?
Anything else?
Okay. My only discussion is, VJ, that's your intent, is to ask for $3,500?
Yeah, that's what they
Fund the board,
approved last
okay.
year and we would
All
like
That's for the
to.
$200 per meeting.
Yes.
What about the other costs that are incurred? Are those part of the budget? Like when we order the title search or something, there's
Yeah.
costs, those exceed the 3,500 then, don't they?
No, there's $80 for doing title search. Also.
$80, the lawyer works for $80?
Well, we don't go through lawyers, we do it by ourselves. They used to charge 150, so we said, no, we're gonna go directly.
Okay.
So we work with.
Well,
the
as long
title
as you're
company.
comfortable with that number, then
Yeah.
you know better than we do.
Well, he's
I just said whatever you need.
So we will ask for more.
Put it in.
All right, any other discussion? Seeing none, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Member Senstock?
Yes.
Member Miners?
Yes.
Member Brock?
Yes.
Member Serbio?
Yes.
Chairman Lizinski?
Yes. Motion carries. All right, old business, cases to be closed, 29090 Winkler.
Where is the agenda? There we go.
You want to give us a summary on that?
Yeah, this was the house came in front of us, and gentleman is working on it, and he has completed all the work. And this is he has got the final CFO, and I think at this time we can close this case. No need to come back.
Can you bring us, refresh my memory at least, which house is
There are
this?
2 houses on Winkler. The one went.
There's 3
through-
houses on Winkler.
This is
We
the
have the
one-
fellow that needs the, because he's hearing impaired, he's across from Don
No,
Meldrum.
He will
That's-
be coming next month.
But that's the third one.
That's the third one.
These are side-by-side ones?
side by side one,
Okay, this isn't the one that was ordered demolished, this is
No.
the White House next to it.
next to it.
Okay.
He has completed everything. He's got his
No,
final
it's-
CFO.
Who are we talking about?
39090 is Mr. Meldrum.
It's Meldrum.
Oh, is it?
Wait,
Well, that's what I was
wait,
asking
wait,
for,
wait.
clarification.
I'm sorry. The other number is coming for, no, we are discussing
We had 4 cases on Winkler then.
4 cases and regular.
I forgot about that.
Okay, yeah, the first one is, this Meldrum. We asked them to put the fence over there and he installed the fence and,
Did he take that fence down in the back or shorten
No.
it down?
no.
Wasn't he supposed to do that?
Yeah.
I think he did, well, last time he was here, he said he had addressed that fence.
Well, the
I
last time
didn't
I
go
was
and
by
look.
there, it didn't look like it. I'll tell you
I
that.
think what he did was fill in on the bottom, he didn't cut the top down.
I never noticed that either. I would like to say this. Anybody driving by that, or anybody looking to buy a house on that street, I think would run 1,000 miles, because that looks an absolute abortion. The guy, you know, one of his statements when he came here was, it was farmland, and all we did, and I don't think I voted for it, but that's beside the point, all we did was give him a permission to put a corral, and now it's fenced off, and when you stop outside and look, you can still see through the cracks of the fence. I mean, now he can just put stuff behind there like, you know, I'm fenced. I think it was a big mistake to allow a guy to put a fence of that size on a residential street, I really do. But it's done, and there's not much we can do about it now, but.
How did he address the driveway? He had a driveway that was at least 6 cars wide.
He didn't have to. All
He put
our
the
ordinance
fence-
says is that you have to have approved parking surface, which is
Yeah,
asphalt,
but if
concrete,
he
brick.
put the fence across the front, which was
I
what
don't
he
think he
was
put it
doing.
across there.
Yes, he did. It's
He
right
put it-
across the front.
He
All
put
the
it
way
across the
across
whole
the front
front?
at
Well,
his
across the
property.
front,
So he's got a gate of some sort.
with a gate.
What kind of gate? A 6-car gate or a 2-car gate or a?
No, it's a small gate.
He probably
And he
doesn't need
keeps
much.
it
Well, it's a
closed?
gate big enough to get the trucks that he's
Yeah.
got behind there,
Yeah.
let's put it that way.
12 feet gate.
But when from the other road, when I looked at the fence here back before the snow fell, it didn't look like the fence had been changed, that back fence.
Well,
So,
Is he in compliance with the ordinance?
Not if he didn't do something with that back fence.
actually, I believe that because of the vulgarities in the ordinance, that he probably is in compliance. There's no rules about how many cars you can have spelled out in our ordinance. There's no rules about what constitutes blight or trash in the, it's not spelled out directly.
I know, and there's
And that's,
nothing,
that is a problem I've talked to the planning commission members about before. I think they need to clarify some of those things. For instance, if you have more than 6 dogs, you're considered a kennel and you have to have a license for a kennel. But yet if you have 15 cars, there's nothing to stop you from having 15 cars.
As long as they're all licensed and runnable.
Correct. Which he said all of those were. I
All the
believe
ones
some of
sitting
them are people
outside.
that come to his property to go with him out wherever he works. Yes, he still works, and he does work for different people in the township.
well, I'd still think it was wrong, putting a fence down that way and across the back, he already had one across the back. But the way he's done it across the front, from just off the front of the house, the old house that stands there, right the way across, to me, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to buy a house on
Yeah,
that street.
BJ
I
that's
think it,
not, the problem is that, ordinance doesn't deal with opinions, it's facts.
Doesn't what?
It doesn't deal with opinions, it deals with fact. And the point, I'm gonna ask that question again, is he in compliance with the ordinance? If he's in compliance with the ordinance,
Well, technically, Chairman Mislinski, the ordinance states that a privacy fence cannot be erected in front of the structure, the primary structure, even if it's more than 30 feet back. That fence is obviously in front, and he didn't come to zoning board of appeals. So technically, he's not in compliance, but the building official
he
issued a
told me
building
that little
permit.
house he lives in though, I don't understand that. He said the house in the front, that little one, He lives in there, that's what he told me. I asked him.
Yeah, but the fence that he put up is way in front of that, correct?
Well, no, if this is the house here, the fence is there like that. Here's the road. He's got the fence like that going across. It's
I thought it
it's
was
not
out, I
level
thought it
with
was
the front
out,
of the
it's
house.
not out closer to the road?
It's just, pardon?
It's not out closer to the
It's
road?
behind the front setback of the house.
Okay, well,
Here-
that's my mistake, I thought it was out
No.
further.
See, there is a problem with this property. This man has been operating this business before even the ordinance came in existence. So anything, you cannot retroactively make him to comply with the ordinance which you create today. You cannot ask
Hold on a
him-
minute, because he had a business before the ordinance came in, he can continue.
You
Yes.
can continue.
See, that's the
Grandfathered in.
stupidest law that I think
We
they've ever
have-
been written.
We have similar situations over there, there are other businesses operating over there. Township went to the court over there and court.
On Willamar, yeah.
Because
And-
he had a bit, see, I don't get that.
Yeah.
I'm,
And the court ordered township to pay him back money. There are few businesses like this. There are another one, Lakeshore Excavations over there. He has a court order over there. You cannot do anything. He can store all the junks he wants over
when
there.
did that ordinance, has he had a business ever since day one there then? More or less?
Long,
When he
long
worked for
back
the
ago.
township, he had a.
Yes.
He used to work.
I
He
tell
used
you.
to work for the township,
I know.
right? And then, at least he's there for a long period of time before the ordinance came. It has been addressed in the past. Matter has gone to, in front of a judge over there.
You're talking about the business over on Jefferson?
Business on Jefferson
Yeah.
also.
Okay.
Jefferson
There's a couple of
also.
them over there.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Across from the bump shop,
Yes,
collision shop. He's
Right,
got a
right.
residential lot that he stores his excavator and,
excavators and
Right.
everything.
yeah, and
So
piles.
when
there was a
so
boat
when
yard.
a law comes in, when or an ordinance comes in, if somebody's already got something there before the ordinance comes in,
Right,
you're okay, you're all set.
right.
But there are some
That
other
is the
issues
crazy-
over
It's
there.
no
Because-
different than your house, Peter. Right now, your house probably wouldn't meet the current code. But,
Well, I'm not talking about my
Well-
house, I'm talking about someone that's got boats, cars,
No,
trucks, trailers.
we are talking about your
Junk,
house. Your house
know?
would not meet present building code.
Well, I know, I understand that.
So whether it's the building code or whether it's a zoning ordinance, the law is
But
that.
you couldn't do anything about it until I came to do something about my house. Then you could say, we need to bring it up to code.
Right.
He didn't, he had to come before us. So by coming before us, he opened up Pandora's box by all the stuff and the junk he had in there.
he didn't come before us. We
Well, we
ordered
did,
him
yeah.
to, we ordered
So by
him.
rights then, we had no right to even bring him here because he was covered by the fact that he's been there for years.
No, we brought him here for blight.
But you just
Did
said
he
yourself,
address the blight?
Yeah.
what is blight?
Right.
The blight, well, part of it was that fence in the back.
All right, and
Yeah,
it's still there.
And there was a lot of junk,
the
and
junk that
he
he
did
had
clean it
behind
up.
the
It does look
fence.
better.
All the stuff he had in front of the fence, so he constructed another fence and he figures that.
But at any rate, it doesn't matter. The permit was issued. The building department feels that this case should be closed, so.
And he's in compliance with the ordinance, so that's what we should be discussing.
There's one more issue, the expectancy of privacy. That's a law. That's a Fourth Amendment. So if somebody puts a privacy fence, you cannot go over there and people over there say, what you got behind this one. Purpose of the putting a privacy fence is that they expect some sort of a privacy and you cannot breach their privacy. So if you put something behind that wooden fence, nothing you can do about it. Unless you have some other means of going and taking
What about
pictures.
the, VJ, sorry, I don't wanna go on about this, but what about that guy down off of Jefferson, the scrap guy? That was never ever been before us, but, put a fence up and has got all types of junk and that. He runs his business right out of there. The guy that built and tarmac, blacktop, the ditch and everything, you know the guy I mean. The case never came before us.
That's not
because-
on our agenda, Peter. We'll be here all day if we start talking about what isn't on the
Well, some
agenda.
can
that's
address,
okay.
some
It's,
can address.
So you're saying, I guess we just have to, you're saying that you think it meets the requirements that we specified to him at this meeting about taking that fence down to the correct height in the back. Because it's more than 6 foot tall, it's like 8 foot tall. Or more.
If it is 8 foot more, then he has to cut it down to 6 feet.
But he hasn't done anything
Okay,
with
I'll,
that.
I'll find out about that.
Yeah, VJ, point of order, that fence is not on the rear lot line. It's only like 8 feet from a detached structure. Would it still have to meet the same requirements?
The height requirement is a Harrison Township as an ordinance, and no fence can exist more than 6 feet,
But,
except in a commercial
but
district.
is he calling it a fence? A fence usually is erected for a boundary, and this is an enclosure. He could add to the building and put a wall all the way up and put a roof on it.
Township
Can he
board-
have an enclosure?
Township ordinance specifies that any fence, anything that looks like a fence, walks like a fence, is a fence. It's
6 feet.
there, and it's allowed to be 6 foot tall. That's it, whether it's inside the property line or on the property line. That's what the ordinance says. And he was told to bring that fence down to the correct height,
We will,
and I don't believe it's been, I could be wrong, but I would rather we clarify that before we close this
Okay.
case.
and that's fine, we'll send somebody over there and check the, measure the height.
Well, I'll make a motion that we table this until we find out whether that particular fence at the back is down to the correct
Is
height.
there support for the motion?
Yes.
Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Member Miners,
Yes,
Member Senstack,
Yes.
Member Parak,
Yes,
Member Serbio,
Yes,
Chairman Mazinski.
Yes. Now we move on to old cases. 38080 Hazel. Receive and file only. Can you explain this to us, Mr. Pratt, or bring us up to date?
we looking at Ronald Davis now?
We're looking at 38080 Hazel.
38080 Hazel,
Yeah.
Ronald Davis.
We have notice here of a electrical permit.
yeah, we have this.
He was supposed to come back before us at, wasn't he, VJ, this month?
But we
Or February.
we probably told him if he,
he, Hazel, we are not closing, we are just letting you know that the work in progress, that's all.
Yeah,
So
It's here for
the,
receive and
working-
file.
oh, okay.
there's
okay.
permits that haven't expired yet, so
No.
he has time.
Yeah, the gentleman is working on his property over
and I
there.
think we gave him a couple of months to
Right.
rectify it all.
He is working on it.
Yes, he's
Okay.
working on it.
Okay.
Can I have a
He has the
motion to?
permits, he's working on it.
I'll make a motion to receive and file 38080 Hazel.
Is there support?
Support.
Okay. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next one is 37843 Winkler for receive and file only.
Yeah, the same thing, they came here, they pulled the permit and they are working on it right now. Their permits are still
Is
all
that,
open.
is that, house, yeah,
That's the one is,
that's the one.
yeah.
Okay.
This is also the one that VJ, at the last meeting, the guy next door to him, Blum, whatever his name is, made certain statements about how this guy was, what he was doing. And I believe, at the last meeting, that somebody was gonna go down there to check on it, because he said that the guy was doing things which were not, not normal standard or whatever.
Well, regardless, he's still, it's receive and file.
He has
It's the
outstanding
neighbor's
permits.
opinion,
Yeah.
but he's got all the permits out and it still has to be inspected.
All right.
So,
That's good.
And besides that, if you look at the work description, the township's gonna be inside looking at it.
Okay, that's good.
So I make a motion to receive and file.
is there
I
support?
second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is 3822 Hammond. Receive and file on this one also.
226.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
38226.
Wasn't there a motion in the last minutes that you were tabling this? You guys were
Yeah, we
tabling this
table this
until March
The
or
son
something?
was here and he was
Right,
saying
but
that,
just a progress report that they are working on it.
yeah,
On this Hammond, day before yesterday, I got the phone call over there, this gentleman's house, whether it's a contractor or somebody, they had a cash money of $26,000 in the bedroom is gone. So the police is involved into investigating who has stolen the money or what. So this case
What
might
was
be
stolen?
Money.
money, cash money.
Cash money from,
From
The
this
house?
guy?
Yeah.
From,
He had
from the old man?
He's
Yeah.
in the hospital according to the,
Oh,
Stole from him, did he say, BJ?
Yeah, he has filed a report to the Macomb County that somebody has stolen $26,000 from his bedroom, cash money.
they broke in, or?
He's suspecting that some of the workers, those who came.
Well, the son was been there all the time, the son was here, I thought the son was taking over that.
That's what I thought, the son is working on it. We've been inspecting this house over there, we had some questions about the flooring, we cut the flooring, put the new floor joists, support them and all that. But right now, he has filed, Macomb County Sheriff Department is investigating, finding out the facts, what the facts are.
so, just a question, did the family withdraw their application for a demo permit on this house?
Yeah, they want to fix the property and they'll put the necessary permit and they are
Okay.
progressing with it. I thought they are doing a good progress over there.
Okay, yeah,
But
that
now.
that
couple
floor
of-
goes back to 2006.
Right,
There was a
right.
problem with that floor at that time.
Right. That's why we had to open up the floor to see what's going on underneath. And a good thing we opened this one up, so.
Okay, motion to receive and file
Right.
38226 Hammond.
Okay, any support for that motion?
Support.
Any discussion on the motion on the table? Seeing none, all those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item are announcements. Housing Board of Membership. Any announcements? Seeing none-
what does that mean, VJ, Housing Board membership under the announcements?
if
Announcements
anyone
from
wants
us?
to make any
Is that
Oh,
what you
from
mean?
anybody?
Yeah, you want to make
Oh,
any
okay.
use your
Except the
forums.
public.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Okay, item J, public comments.
On non-agenda items.
Seeing none, we'll move on to item K. Next hearing is February 27th, 2014. Next item on the agenda is adjournment. May I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Excuse me, I got